to fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You're listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Minute. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. I intend to ruffle a few feathers today because, I'm just not PC, and I think you guys know that now. And it's the third rail, I like to think, in Canadian politics. And it's bilingualism, and it's the cost of bilingualism. This clip comes from Canada Free Press, and I will put various links on my website so that you can follow it. And this is just part of what it says, and part of other things that I've found. I'm just putting this together as a montage. Anyway, why official French and English bilingualism is exclusively an anti-English war? Well, we all knew that. 1. No unilingual Canadian, French or English speaker may obtain employment in any part of the federal civil service. That is racist. That is plain and simple racist. We should be challenging this in the courts, because these people who claim to speak English, who are of French origin, I can't understand a bloody word they say. Not a word. They don't speak English as far as I'm concerned. A Crown corporation or any major contractor wishing to obtain business with the federal government. That's what it says. Can't be unilingual. Really. No member. Now listen to this and think about our American friends with NORAID. No member of the Canadian Armed Forces may be promoted above the rank of major unless they are fluently bilingual. That means that they speak French. Why the heck do they need to speak French when they're in NORAID? This is a manipulation by Quebec. Former Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau is one of the simplest statements explained the objective of the current ethnic cleansing war. Precisely, unilingual Anglophones will be sentenced to a lifetime of job immobility. The war against the English was Trudeau's plan from long before the day he and his henchmen came to Ottawa. This is what it's really all about. I don't care what these other politicians say. They are trying to destroy the English way of life. And it is so ridiculous. And I got to say this. When you watch a press conference and they jabber away in French, let me tell you, as an Englishman, the majority of the world switch off. They don't watch, they don't listen, and if you watch the American media, they cut it off. This war against the English was Trudeau's plan from long before the day he and his henchmen came to Ottawa and took over all key ministries of government. Among these, Quebec, generals of national takeover were the following. Let them speak for themselves. Jean-Luc Pepin in 1970, the Minister of Trade and Commerce. We were a small group, Trudeau, Petier, Landleau, Chrétien, and myself, a few people in civil service, say 50 in total. We were bringing off a revolution. We held the key posts. We were making the civil service, kicking and screaming at the time, bilingual. We were a well-organized group of revolutionaries like them. Reference to the FLQ. And a lot of you know who the FLQ are. Serge Joal. This guy is now a senator, and he does not impress me. If you look at his resume, he doesn't impress me. He's not a Canadian at all. Not in any way, shape or form. He's a French separatist. Everything we undertake and everything we are doing to make Canada French, a French state, is part of a venture I shared for many years with a number of people. The idea, the challenge of making Canada a French country both inside and outside of Quebec.
Back when Serge Joel was Secretary of State for Pierre Trudeau, he made a statement in the paper that his ambition is to make Canada a French country and a French state both inside and outside Quebec. He is now a senator. Of course, he said he was taken out of context, which is bullshit, because we know he wasn't.
An idea that some people consider a little crazy. This is something beyond ordinary imagination. Did Prime Minister Chrétien support this war? He supported the traitor Serge Joal to the Senate. That's the words of the document, not mine. Also, he was awarded the Order of Canada. He is a Chevalier, a France's Legion of Honour, and also an officer of the Order of Quebec. How can you be a Legion of Honour in a foreign country when you're a Canadian? Something a little off there, I think. These Quebecois generals and their replacements lined up against English Canada also keep Quebec under control by making sure that Quebec understands federal government, English neighbours and French is on their side, allowing Quebec and their anti-English to stab in the back the ethnic cleansing guerrilla warfare to proceed unobstructed all across Canada. Think double standards. Well, we all know that. And there's various books out there which talk about this guy, Sir Joel. He was born in 1945. He's now a senator. He was a lawyer by profession. He served as vice president of the Quebec wing of the Liberal Party of Canada. He was first elected Canadian House of Commons in 1974 and remained a Liberal MP in Parliament for 10 years. He's also linked to the Power Corporation, which I've done a piece on previously. There's so much more about this guy that's being hidden by the media. You can't get the information online. You have to go into the libraries. And when you do, you'd be horrified. And most of it's in French because they don't want you to know what these people are really about. They really do not want you to know what they are about. These immigrants coming into this country, they're mostly French speaking. And what they're doing at the federal level, they're parachuting French speaking people into every part of this country. Like it or not, that's what they're doing. And you wonder why Alberta gets upset? We have an Official Languages Act in Ontario, which was forced through in the dead of night, and people abstained. They didn't want to have a record for voting for it. But the cost of bilingualism is absolutely exorbitant, and Canada, Ontario and any other province cannot afford it. My suggestion to Canada is to scrap it. If the French want to speak French, let them speak French, but don't shove it down our throats. And much to their chagrin, that the world speaks English. Air traffic control is English, even in Quebec. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com. I am very pleased to announce that thanks to you for following us on Spreaker.com, that A Radio can now be found on iTunes under A Radio. Thank you, everyone. And I'm on Twitter at A Radio Canada. I'm also on Facebook at A Radio Canada. I am on Gab at A Radio. You can email me at aradiocanada@gmail.com. Please click the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning minutes at Spreaker.com under A Radio. That's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. And you can also find all my podcasts and morning minutes at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Minutes tab.